it's Dara here. In my very first intro video, I shared with you guys that one of my great loves in this life is buying books. Like, I love to buy books, but specifically, I love to hunt out bargain books or books that I may not have come across on my own if I was just like doing a search. So I thought today a really fun idea would be to take you secondhand book shopping with me. Now, you might be thinking, woman, you have shelves full of books that you haven't read. That's true, but you know, it's something I enjoy and it's not like I'm buying drugs, so like, leave me alone. And what I will also say is I'm going to set some parameters for myself because I'm sure you can imagine that things can easily get out of hand. So I was thinking about like, what is my intention for this video? And really, my intention is to prove a point, specifically that for the price of like one brand new release, you can get so many amazing, surprising books. So I'm going to set myself a budget of £15 because that, like, based on research that I've done, like your newer releases, if you buy them in a traditional bookshop, they'll cost you about £15. So I'm going to see how many books and how many good books that I can get for that amount of money. And the other rule that I'm setting is like, I'm not allowed to hack the system. So I'm not allowed to just go to the 5 for £1 bins and just buy like random things. I have to get things that I actually really want to read. So as this is my first vloggy style video, I highly doubt that you'll get beautiful b-roll and immaculate edits, but you will get me taking you along a little bit today and showing you some of my favourite spots, some of my favourite finds, and I will of course do a great unveiling at the end and share what I've managed to come home with. So I'm gonna go get ready, maybe dry my hair and get gone. Check in soon. Okay, so I did forget to mention that the venue of said shopping was going to be some good old charity shops. So I've popped over to a little town not too far from me, but not one that I actually go to all that often, to just explore, see what we can find. So no pre-planning done, no checking that all of the shops I think are actually still in existence. We are just going to see what we can find. So probably not going to film inside the shops, or at least not first view, because not the first view because I don't know if I'm up there with my like YouTube confidence yet to just like whip my phone out and start recording bookshelves and shit inside of shops, small shops where people are going to be watching me. So yeah, no, we'll see how we go. Okay, Hermits, it's later that same night and I'm here to share my very bargainous book haul. This is Casper, by the way. Hey bud. He's so cute. Love him. Love you. I love you. Anyway. Oh, okay, thank you. Can you just chill, mate? Thank you. So let's talk about all of the books that I managed to find during my little trip around the charity shops today. We have some real gems, and I did come in under budget. So I know I set the goal of £15 because that's what a standard new-ish release costs, but I actually spent £13.47p. Let's see how many books I managed to get with that. So I'm going to go from most expensive to least expensive, just because, well, it's my video and I get to pick the order. So first of all, we have Waking the Witch by Pam Grossman. And this one was the most expensive book that I bought today, and it cost £2. Very, like, side note, this was shelved under sports, exercise and health, which seems really odd because it's basically about the history and the culture of magic and witchcraft. And if that was sports, I could probably get behind some more sports. But anyway, that's by the by. And the reason I actually spent £2 on this, because I don't usually spend that much on a book when I'm doing like bargain book shopping, is because this has actually been on my Amazon wish list since it came out. So the fact that I saw it, it's in good condition. It doesn't really look like it's ever been read. I'm going to buy it. And plus, it'll look really nice on my bookshelves. It's got a nice spine. So that costs £2. Then we have the £1 books. So we have Me, You, Not a Diary by Dawn French. And again, this is like really immaculate condition. It hasn't been touched, the spine. And when I picked it up, I actually thought it was a memoir. And I love a memoir in general. I particularly enjoy memoirs of comedians. And I love Dawn French, so I thought, And then I got it home and realised that it is in fact not a memoir. It's more of kind of like a diary that spans a whole year. But this edition does not have like blank journal pages in it. It has a few sections too with like prompts like this, and then places to put some photos in. But then it also includes her like musings and essays on like different times of year. So I'm not actually sure if I'll keep this. I might actually gift it to somebody because I always think like fun journals make really nice gifts. Or I might keep it, we'll see. Anyway, that was £1. This one was also £1. Vanilla Salt by Ada Parellada. So, sorry, I got my Spanish accent there because it's actually translated from Spanish. I love food. Both eating it and reading books where food is a central theme or an important element to the story. And that sounds very much like what this one is. Now, I will say that with most of these books, they are things that I've never heard of before. Never heard of this one. But I'm just going to like read the blurb. So, Alex is a brilliant Catalan chef, but he struggles to fill his restaurant because of his gruff, eccentric personality and his refusal to use ingredients that trace their culinary origins to America, such as potatoes and tomatoes. Side note, those are two of the best ingredients. Why would you do that? Anyway, when he meets the young, enthusiastic and beautiful Canadian Annette, he finds his ideas and narrow-minded outlook challenged and discovers that they are both concealing painful pasts. Written by one of the most acclaimed Iberian chefs, Vanilla Salt is a sensual and mouth-watering exploration of the kitchen and the human heart, as well as a tale of simmering passions and the need to confront personal truths. Well, like, I love food, I love love, like, I'm probably gonna love this book, so that one cost £1. Then we have The Blinds, and I'll tell you why this one appealed to me. So, when I read the blurb in the shop, it reminded me kind of, I don't know if you've ever read the series by Kelly Armstrong. I think it's called City of the Lost or something like that. I'll double check that and pop a link in the description. But anyway, it's about this like secret village that's that was like artificially manufactured and populated with certain people, and it's like they're really good quick reads. And the synopsis of this one, The Blinds by Adam Sternberg, just reminded me of that. Even like it sounds different, but it just had that vibe. Anyway, let me tell you what it's about. So, imagine a place populated by criminals, but ones who have opted into an experimental program to win new identities and a second chance, their violent memories erased. Welcome to The Blinds, a dusty town in rural Texas populated by misfits who are no longer sure if they perpetrated a serious crime or just witnessed one. What they do know is that if they ever try to leave, they will end up dead. Right? Very cool. It's not very cool that people end up dead. It's a very cool introduction to what could be a very compelling story. For 8 years, Sheriff Calvin Cooper has kept an uneasy peace until, that is, a suicide and a murder occur in quick succession, raising dangerous questions and bringing mysterious outsiders to his forgotten town. Simmering with violence, heartbreak and deception, The Blinds is a provocative, keenly intelligent thriller which lingers long in the memory. Love a thriller. Okay, so that's The Blinds. Also £1. So now we are going down the scale of price slightly to the books that cost 99p. And I'm going to be wholly transparent. I picked these books because of their covers. They just, all three of them are just beautiful. They're brightly coloured. They're going to fit so nicely on my shelf. And just, yes, yes, yes. So we have The Secrets of Sunshine by Phaedra Patrick. I just checked the spine there because it's covered up with the price label. This just looks like it's going to be a real like feel good love story, but I love the cover. Flowers, swallows, yellow, yes. And we all deserve a second chance at love. Lovely tagline. Love, like, you will learn something about me, and that is that I love love. So, single dad Mitchell Fisher has said a firm goodbye to romance. He relishes his job cutting off the padlocks that couples fasten to his hometown's famous love story bridge. Only his young daughter Poppy knows that behind his prickly veneer, Mitchell is deeply lonely and he still grieves the loss of Poppy's mother. We love a grumpy male lead, right? Yes, that is a bit of me. Then, one hot summer's day, everything changes when Mitchell bravely rescues a woman who falls from the bridge into the river. He's surprised to feel an unexpected connection to her, but then she disappears. Desperate to find the mysterious woman, Mitchell teams up with her spirited sister Lisa to see if she's left any clues behind. There's just one, a secret message on the padlock she left on Love Story Bridge. I mean, it sounds delightful, doesn't it? 99p. Then we have Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. Now, I've never read an Anthony Horowitz book that I didn't love, so this felt like a very safe bet. It's quite a chunky one though. That would keep me going for a while. And like I said, love a crime, love a thriller, and this promises to be a bit of both. Crime writer Alan Conway has been a best-selling author for years. Readers love his detective Atticus Pond, a celebrated solver of crimes in the sleepy English villages of the 1950s. So basically a rip-off of Miss Marple, like a male Miss Marple. We'll let that go. But Conway's latest tale of murder at Pye Hall is not quite what it seems. Yes, there are dead bodies and a host of intriguing suspects, but hidden in the pages of the manuscript lies another story, a tale written between the very words on the page, telling of real-life jealousy, greed, ruthless ambition, and murder. Ooh, it sounds like a thriller within a crime story, which I'm curious. 99p. Score. And then last but not least, and you just look at this, like look how beautiful this cover is. It's just like stunning. And the spine is not broken, it feels brand new. Beautiful, 99p. And I don't really know what this one is about. The blurb was very non-committal. It just says, every story has two sides, every relationship has two perspectives, and sometimes it turns out the key to a great marriage is not its truths, but its secrets. I love their hat tip to Greek mythology of Fakes and Furies, so I think this one might be a delight, but regardless, it's going to be a surprise because I have no idea what's coming. Okay, so those are the 99p selection. Now we are moving on to the books that cost 50 pence, okay? So bargain. First of all, we have Beastly Tales from Here and There by Vikram Seth. And this is, like the glare of the ring light. This is kind of like Aesop's Fables in that it's a series of fables that have animals as central characters, but it's all written in verse. There are also some cute little illustrations in there too, but I love poetry. I feel like I don't read enough of it, so I'm being very inclined to just start collecting a few different works of poetry. So 50p. Then this one is actually not for me. This is a gift. So Fishing and the Meaning of Life, which is a collection of stories, essays, advice, poems, all about fishing. And it's a beautiful copy. The illustrations on the cover are a delight. The spine is untouched. It's pretty pristine. So I'm going to give it to my boyfriend for his birthday, along with some other stuff too. I'm not that tight. But he is a keen fisher person. In fact, he is away on a fishing trip as I record this. So I think he's really going to love that. And it was 50p. Next we have The Third Wife by Lisa Jewell. I have 2 of her other thrillers on my shelves and I haven't actually read them yet. But I have, like, before she started writing thrillers, she used to do romances that had like something of a mysterious edge, and I really enjoyed the few that I read by her. I think I've read 3 books by her. And I, like I said, love a thriller, so I'm looking forward to this. Let's see. London, 3 a.m. A tragic accident. Then your life begins to fall apart, ... You think you have the perfect life. You're successful, attractive, well-liked, and you've just got married for the 3rd time. But that's okay because everyone's happy, including your new wife. But she has a secret, and secrets have consequences, some of which can be devastating. 50p. Then we have The Last Wife. I will say, in this particular shop, there was literally a whole shelf of thrillers that had this kind of title. So there was The Third Wife, The Last Wife. There was something like the Other Wife. There was My Dead Wife. That, like, all of them, like, just with names that had wife in. So I'm wondering if that's like a genre or a subgenre of its own, like wifely thrillers. I don't know. Anyway, The Last Wife. 2 women, a dying wish, and a shocking secret. When her best friend Nina dies, Marie agrees to fulfill her final wishes, but Nina's mistake was in thinking she could trust Marie with her family. What Nina didn't know was that Marie always envied her beautiful life, and that Marie has an agenda of her own. She'll do anything to get what she wants. Marie thinks she can keep her promise to her friend's family on her own terms. What she doesn't know is that Nina was hiding explosive secrets of her own. So I'm thinking it's going to have the vibe of single white female, but maybe with more twists, more of an edge. We'll see. And then, oh, I did get like one more wives book. This is the last wives book that I picked off that shelf. So we had just The Wives, also 50p. A Marriage Full of Secrets. And this one actually sounds very different to anything I've read before, so I'm looking forward to this. You've never met the other wives. None of you know each other. You see your husband only 1 day a week, Thursday, but you don't care. You love him that much. Or at least that's what you've told yourself. And then one day it all changes. You thought you were fine with this, with only having a fraction of a husband, but you can't help yourself. You start to dig. You begin tracking them down, the other days. Who is Monday, and why does she have bruises on her arms? Is she being abused? By who? Her husband? Your husband? And what else is he keeping from you? We'll see. And then we have The Orchard on Fire by Shayna, okay? I love that cover. It's like really pretty. And we've got a little doxy on the back, which I always notice now because my friend is low-key obsessed with that breed of dog. And this one just sounds very, like a very good read. It sounds like it's going to be one of those ones that isn't necessarily the most enjoyable and pleasurable constantly, but it's like good literature. So when Percy and Betty Harlancy abandon their seedy street and pub for the Copper Kettle Tea Room in Kent, life for their daughter April changes dramatically. She's befriended by the wonderfully dangerous Ruby, whose red hair and brutal home life emphasize her love of fire, and by the creepy but immaculately dressed Mr. Greenridge, who likes to follow her around the village. Mingling the innocent with the sinister and laced with the tragic and the bizarre, this is a rare evocation of a 1950s childhood. Just sounds like it's going to be a good read, and like I said, you can't deny that the cover is beautiful. Okay, so that was my stack of 50p books. Now let's move on to the 3 for £1. So 3 for £1 we have Wish You Were Here by Mike Gale. And this basically sounds like every chick lit book that we've ever read about women going on a trip together to like find themselves again when they've been trapped in relationships that they don't love, or they've had their heart broken. It's like the girls together, except that it's the boys together. So essentially, lad's holiday, one of the fiancés crashes and hijinks ensues. It promises to be funny. It promises to be daft. I mean, it's set in Malia. We've got 3 middle-aged men on an 18 to 30s holiday. I mean, it's probably going to be funny. Like the in-betweeners, if they got old. So that's number 1. This one, I'm going to have to make a confession about why I bought this book. So I bought this book because the main character's name is Dora, which is my name. And because I cannot tell you how difficult it is to find people who share my name or find things with my name on. I remember as a kid always going and like looking for the mugs with the names on, or those felt headbands that used to have names on, and being like so dejected when I could never find my name. So the fact that I found a main character with my name, even though it is spelled differently, but we'll take our victories where we can find them, it just felt like I had to bring it home. This is only the second book that I've ever come across that has a character with my same name. So, and then we have Gaglow by Esther Freud. So I'll give you the should I tell you what this one is about aside from having a character with my name? Dora Flood always says the most interesting thing about her life happened before she was born. 13 days before she came into the world, her father walked up the road and never came back. Now in her 20s, Dora's life has a careful routine. She lives in Dublin with her mother and sister Angel. She has pizza with friends every Wednesday, salsa class every Friday, and sees her boyfriend every Saturday. It's safe, and that's the way she likes it. Then Angel gets desperately sick, and Dora's ordered life falls apart. Neither she nor her mother is a compatible match for the kidney Angel needs, so Dora sets out to find the father who could be their last hope. But on the path to uncovering the truth about her father, Dora learns that to let life and love in, sometimes you just have to let go. I mean, Dora sounds kind of uptight, which is also like me, so probably going to like that one. And then, like I said, we have Gaglow by Esther Freud. Gaglow beautifully interweaves the story of Sarah, a pregnant, out-of-work actress posing for her painter father, with that of her ancestors in Germany at the time of the First World War. For it is only now, as the once grand, long since confiscated estate of Gaglow is about to be returned, that the generations can be brought together across the decades. Love a generational saga, so adding that to the pile. Like I said, I got those 3 for £1. Now we are moving on to like the true bargains, the ones that I'm genuinely surprised I actually managed to find. This next stack cost 25p each. Like, that blows my mind. 25p for a book. 25 pence for a book. Okay, so first we have Rapture by Duffy. And like I said, I want to start collecting more poetry. And I didn't just pick this up because it's poetry. I also picked it up because it's annotated. So I don't know if you can see. So I love books with annotations from people that have read them before me, as long as it, like, you can actually read the words on the page. I've had books before that I've bought secondhand on Amazon that arrived and were just illegible, but this just feels like it adds an extra layer to the poetry, so that's exciting to me. Then we have Belle, The True Story of Dido Belle by Paula Byrne. I love anything historical, and this is the true story of Dido Belle, who was the illegitimate mixed-race daughter of a Royal Navy captain and a slave woman. But she was adopted by the Earl of Mansfield, so obviously thrown into that world where nobility ruled the roost. I just think it's going to be a really interesting read because you do not hear many stories about people of colour in the English nobility, especially not stories that are like based in truth. So looking forward to reading that. Then we have Harim by Dora, Levy, Matanon. Again, more historical stuff, which I love. A seductive and intriguing journey from the humble Persian Jewish quarter to the fascinating world of shahs, soothsayers, eunuchs, and sultanas. Harim follows 3 generations of strong-willed and cunning women. Rebecca, a poor girl married to the abusive blacksmith. Jacob, the fatherless, who emerges from her disastrous match with a mysterious brand between her breasts. Gold Dust, Rebecca's treasured daughter, who enters the opulent and perilous world of the harem and captivates the Shah with her singing bones. And Gold Dust's daughter, the revered and feared albino Princess Raven, who will one day rule the empire. Rich in visual imagery, Harim vividly depicts the exotic bazaars and dangerous alleys of the city and palace chambers brimming with conspiracy and betrayal, as well as love and redemption. A skillfully crafted, intricately textured novel, Harim represents the beginning of a remarkable literary career. It just sounded really interesting, and I'm also very intentional about wanting to read works of literature by authors of different origins. Like, I don't just want to be reading books by white women all the time because, you know, I'm a white woman, I'm aware of that perspective. I want to use reading to open my mind. And Dora Levy Matanon was born in Israel and raised in Iran, so she has a very different background to me, and that's what I love in books. So nice. Then we have The Olive Tree by Lucinda Riley. I have a bunch of her books. I think I've actually only read one, but I did really enjoy it. She tends to do those romancy type books that have like a current day storyline and a historical storyline, and you like bounce between the two, typically in an exotic country. This one, yeah, in Cyprus. Looking forward to it. And this one, this one actually looks like it's not got the 2 storylines. I mean, maybe it does. It says it's been 24 years since a young Helena spent a magic holiday in Cyprus where she fell in love for the first time. Blah, 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 blah. So maybe there are 2 stories, one now, one 24 years ago, but in the other books that I've come across, it's more like hundreds of years apart. So adding that to the pile, 25p. Then we have I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. Like the queen of easy reading. It takes you like a day less to get through a Sophie Kinsella book, and they're always just light-hearted and fun. So of course I'm adding this to the collection. Let's see. I've lost it. The only thing in the world I wasn't supposed to lose, my engagement ring. It's been in Magnus's family for 3 generations, and now, the very same day his parents are coming, I've lost it. The very same day. Do not hyperventilate, Poppy. Aside, I can already tell that Magnus is not going to be endgame because, like, is the love of our life named Magnus? Probably not. Stay positive. A couple of glasses of bubbly with the girls and Poppy's life has gone into meltdown. Not only has she lost her engagement ring, but in the panic that followed, she's lost her phone too. When she spots an abandoned phone in a bin, it seems it was meant to be. Finders keepers. That's suspect. Except the phone's owner, elusive businessman Sam Roxton. Hello, Sam Roxton. doesn't agree. He wants his phone back, fair, and doesn't appreciate Poppy reading all his messages and wading into his personal life, also fair. Can things get any more tangled? Well, we'll see. We will see if things can get more tangled. And then, last but not least, and I feel like this is the ultimate bargain, is an omnibus of 3 Patricia Cornwell books. 25p for 3 books. 3 books in one. So we have Cause of Death, Unnatural Exposure, and Point of Origin, which is like your standard crime novels. Standard crime novels. They're the Doctor's Case Carpenter ones, I believe. Is she a medical examiner? Yes, that's right. Read a few from the series before, haven't read these 3, but again, like delightful reads that you can get through in a day. I feel like this counts as 3 books. 3 books for 25p. Insane. So, adding them all up, that is for the low price of £13.47. That's 22 books. 22 books for less than the price of one new release. It's madness, guys. It is madness. But I hope you can see like the sheer variety of great books that are available to you. And I will say that as I was going through the shelves today, I saw so many of my personal favourites and my most recent reads on those shelves. I remember seeing a particular Sadness of Lemon Cake, which is an immaculate book. The Death of Mrs. Westaway, which I think is like the best audiobook that I listened to last year. Diary of a Drag Queen, which is the last audiobook I listened to and was fantastic. There were so many fabulous books on those shelves for such a low cost. So if you are in need of something to read, I highly encourage you to just go and take a look at your local secondhand bookshops and or charity shops, because you just find such a variety. You find so many interesting suggestions that you just might not ordinarily come across. I'm a big fan. Now I need to go and find somewhere to put all these. I do have my bookshelves in front of me. That's what I'm looking at. I need to find space and do some rearranging. So anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed seeing the random books that I've added to my collection, then please let me know in the comments, and also let me know, what's the last book that you bought? What's the last book that you bought? And of course, if you're interested in more like kind of quirky secondhand haul videos, then let me know, because I'll be more than happy to film another one next time I take myself out for a little day trip. Anyway, that is all for now. Do all the usual things like, comment, subscribe. Come back for more next week, whenever I upload again. And I will see you then. Bye.